What's going on, everybody? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and I want to just go over the market and go over a couple of stocks and what has been happening lately. I have a couple of pieces of news here to give you. Now, first off, we've got just the overall market is actually pretty up. We've got a nice green day, and when I look at my portfolio, just about everything is up today, to my surprise. Over the last couple weeks, even a month or so, everything's been slowly downtrending, but we just had capitulation yesterday, everything selling off, and suddenly a huge green day. We've got companies like Tesla up 3%, and some not on this screen here. We've got Neo 20%, DraftKings up 12%. I mean, we've got CleanSpark, Indie, the list goes on. Almost everything is up over 5%. But I'm going to go over something that is actually not up, and it, I think, deserves to be up a lot more. And that's going to be none other than Astra, ASTR. They just had success with their launch, and this is completely under the radar. This happened last night, and yeah, right here we can confirm the successful deployment of the satellites on spaceflight Astra 1's mission today. So this flew very, very under the radar, and we're going to look over the chart in a second here. But here we have the launch. Everything went well. It disconnected fine. We didn't get that crazy spin around and failed launch like last time. So that went great. And for those of you that just waited, patience pays off. Although that might not be reflected in the current stock price, but I think that is set to change very soon. But really quick, before I get to the chart, Astra is reporting their earnings on March 17th, and here's their webcast link right here. And I'll leave you the link below if you want to just easily get to this. It's on Astra's Investor Relations IR Events and Presentations tab. And this is going to give us a lot of information, maybe even some information into future flights, what's planned going forwards, how often their launches are going to be, that kind of stuff. Also revenue, earnings per share, all that good stuff, obviously. But let's get back to the video. All right, now looking at the chart a bit and zooming back, we did have that drop on their failed launch, and it just hasn't recovered since. But look at this. We've been trading extremely sideways since then. We've just been trading in this box anywhere from the low threes, about 3, to about 4. And we've just been trading in this range. And I think it's definitely worthy of adding in this area. Okay, I was waiting. We were a falling knife. We started settling. I figured we might come down further, so I waited. And now we are just in this sideways momentum right before earnings. Okay, so earnings is another catalyst that could potentially drop this or make this rise. So you might want to potentially wait until after earnings if you aren't willing to take that risk, of it just exponentially moving either direction. So you can potentially wait if you don't have a position yet. But I do currently think that it's worthy of averaging in at this price. Definitely worthy of averaging in. And you might notice that I haven't talked about this one too much recently. We just had this drop, and it was a falling knife. And I don't like buying a stock while we have this kind of move. Move like this, and I want to see some certainty come in. And so far, looks like we've had it. We hit this bottom here at 290, had a higher low, and then retested this low and bounced really quickly. So we retested this low. We did not retest the 290 low. I think we're good to go. I'm comfortable adding into Astra. Don't sleep on it. So Astra was definitely the main thing I wanted to touch on and just bring to your guys' attention. It seems like this is very slept on right now, and there's like no coverage about this. So keep an eye on it. We might just suddenly have an exponential run as this news kind of breaks out. Although maybe we don't. Maybe it's kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the news type thing where now we have this news and there's no more hype. We have to wait until our next launch for that hype to build up. Potentially, this is definitely a possibility. But looking at 3D Sphere, or Sphere 3D, you will notice that this has not been performing as well as the others today. This is only up like a 0.5% as of this upload, and we are seeing some nice higher lows coming in. Look at this nice trend we're seeing. Keep an eye and see that this channel continues. I'm very comfortable with 3D Sphere at this price now. I think we reached a point that the sell-off, we sold off too much. I think we sold off too much. And you look back and you'll see that we tried to hold support here and we just failed. We couldn't hold it. We tried to bounce off of that area, but it was just that momentum kept coming down. I mean, look at this. You can see that momentum. I mean, there's a reason it all lines up like this. There's a reason for that. Even here. I mean, it's that momentum. You can tell that's where the momentum was going. But now, I personally think that this is not a dead cat bounce. I don't think so. However, we are looking bearish on the RSI, bearish on the MACD, both wanting to come down. Although the RSI, I guess you could say, is somewhat neutral, but we are pointing downwards. But we are in that neutral range right now. So we might just turn around, start trading sideways a little bit. I'm more than comfortable buying 3D Sphere any under $2. This has ran quite a bit from its almost 8 high. And yeah, we're more than like what, 60-70% from our high here now. And we were still expecting that merger. You know, the hype has completely died down, and not to mention, this is not the right market for these types of stocks right now. But I am more than comfortable holding this. I currently have my position, and I'm really considering adding at this price under $2 while I can. You can always check out a previous video. I go into more detail on this one and talk about their merger and some of the details of what's happening with their merger. But that's basically Sphere 3D. Okay, now I wanted to touch on SoFi real quick before wrapping this up. And right now we are sitting under $10. We did break this support, and I think we can possibly test this level again. We are having a very, very green day in the market, and SoFi is only up a few percent. So I think if everything starts cooling down tomorrow and Friday, you know, SoFi can definitely test this low level here. I think it definitely can. Looking at the RSI and MACD, RSI is pretty neutral, and the MACD though is looking bearish. Although the candles, we are trying to hold over the 21 day. So keep an eye on that. I think for the long term, SoFi is at a great place to add right now. But looking at it from a technical standpoint, I think we can definitely come down and retest these levels. So you have to consider, you know, when the overall market moves so high and something else kind of lags behind, if we have a red day, it's very possible that this can fall with those other stocks that ran up a lot. So you got to kind of keep an eye on that and see, you know, if the overall market's up 5%, or a lot of stocks that you watch are up 5%, and then something like SoFi is only up 2%, it's very possible that on a pullback day, SoFi could be down further with those other stocks, although maybe it performs better than the other stocks that drop. But that's basically my thoughts. Definitely look at SoFi, look at any or 3D Sphere, Sphere 3D, and look at Astra. A lot going on today. Very, very green day. These days for me are bittersweet because I'm always a buyer. You know, I'm nowhere near retirement, and you got to look at it with that mindset, okay? You might want some green, and it's great to get some green and maybe sell out of something, take some profits, have some cash, you know, build out your cash on the side again. But I like these red days. You know, the only time you might not like red days is if you're about to retire or if you're very, very low on cash. And those are, to me, the two circumstances, you know, and otherwise I'm buying. Otherwise I'm buying. If I'm not low on cash and if I'm not retiring, I'm a buyer, and I will continue to be one. But that's basically all I got for you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. I put out daily videos, and until next time, take it easy.